of us, I think, were unpleasantly surprised by perhaps the fact that we did not know as much as we thought we knew about our finances and about planning money. So today I wanted, because we are learning.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's good to start from the beginning, from the very basics. What are some of the basic pillars of planning money?
It's very interesting, and these are things that are, like arm's length. You can do them very easily. And things like just understanding what your income is, budgeting, paying yourself first. And when I'm talking about paying yourself first, I'm not saying go buy yourself that big bottle of, I don't know, one that I know people talk about is you need Jameson or something, or go to a salon and go and just have that nice hairstyle done on you because you have worked so hard and you want to spend like 5,000. You're talking about savings, paying yourself first. You're talking about saving and investing. Yes. Then from there, of course, track your spending. Know where your money is going to, because once you understand these 4 pillars that I'm talking about, it is very easy for you to start now managing your money.
Okay, so the first one is know your income.
Yes.
So know where your money comes from.
Yes.
Second, you said is what? Budget.
Budget. Work with a budget. And then
the third one you said is
pay yourself first. So save and invest.
Okay.
Then number 4 is track your spending.
Okay.
Yes.
So when you say know your income, why is that? Many people are employed. You just know your income, and maybe you have a few other gigs here and there. Maybe you have a rental or you have a small business that brings money on the side. Many of us know how much we earn, but a lot of us live way above our means. Do you have any idea why? Have you guys done research to find out why? I know I earn this amount of money, but I live a life that is way above my means.
It's because people want to compare themselves to other people. That is one of the biggest issue that, especially the second class generation, or rather second class population, is suffering from. Because I want to be like Pauline. I want to drive a car that Pauline drives. I want to go and hang out where Pauline hangs out. And yet I don't know how much you make, but I want to be in the same, in the same level as you are in terms of spending, how I live my life, how I want to go and have fun, where I want to go and have my cup of coffee, not considering that probably Pauline has her own goals when it comes to finances. She has a very clear laid out plan for her finances, while I don't have. I've just earned my money and I'm thinking, okay, next time where am I going to Kempinski? And my local joint will have just been good enough for me. Yes. So the idea of just trying to compare myself to another person is what kills us.
Okay.
Yes.
I grew up, I think because I was in media, I sort of grew up believing that you fake it till you make it. You sort of put up an appearance and then eventually you'll be, you'll make it, because people give money. So I used to be told, I've had this, that people give money to people who look like they have money, or people who look like they have money make more money. How true is this?
It might be true, but at the same time it's cliche.
Okay.
The reason why I'm saying that is, Pauline, you'll meet me putting on my 6-inch and it's a thrift shoe. Like I went to Mutumba and I got a shoe that cost me 600 bob. Probably you went and bought a shoe that's about 3,000 bob. Somebody else bought a shoe that is 3,000 bob. But the idea is for me to put on a nice shoe that does not have a dent anywhere, but I went to Gikomba, or probably I went to, not Marikiti, Toi, and I got a shoe that's about 500 bob, which is on a budget again. Then I get a dress that's fitting, very decent, and I spend about 300 bob. That's about 800 bob. And I know sometimes I get to the office and guys are like, hey, Maureen, that blaze. And I'm like, hey, I bought it for $2. And they're like, $2? And I'm like, yes. You don't have to go to those big, like very big, what am I saying, places that you really need to spend a lot of money to dress up and look good.
Okay.
You don't have to do that.
Okay.
Then the other thing is faith it, work towards it, don't fake it. So at Centonomy, there's actually a phrase that we use. Is we cancel the word fake it, and we use faith it, because it is easier to build rather than just to put on a shoe that's not fitting and you're struggling and your shoe maybe may never grow. Yes.
Okay. So then there is budgeting. Budgeting is critical.
It is.
It is critical. I think there are fundamentals of budgeting. Say, for example, I'll give you a very good example. I earn 30,000. what would be, how much rent should I be paying? Because I think, unless I have my own home, how much should I be paying? Today we are going down to the nitty-gritty.
Yeah. Very important, very important. Well, I wouldn't tell you how much you should pay, but what is your goal at the end of the day? Because again, when you're saving and investing, remember, and you want to save some money, you need to understand what your goal is. Because again, if you just keep money for the sake of keeping money, or probably you want to save 2,000 from your budget, and then you have not put a goal to, you don't know where that 2,000 is going to go, you're just keeping it in the account. Chances are you're going to take it. You're going to withdraw it from the account because it did not have a specific goal attached to it.
Okay, so I haven't even gotten to saving. So you, as far as you're concerned, my first money should have gone to saving. Did you notice that's where you went?
Yes.
I went to pay rent. That tells you what is in my brain.
Yeah.
But my brain is full of matope. So you went first to saving. You are like, when the first money comes in, the first thing I should be doing is saving.
Save. The reason why I say that is, we are quick. Look at how we spend our money. So it's 30,000, right? Yeah. The first person who will take up your money is the taxman, which is okay. We're supposed to be paying up our taxes. And of course, we have rent, we have food, we have school fees. But have you figured out? Have you figured out that all these other bills belong to somebody else?
Yeah, they do.
And you're not thinking about yourself. So why don't you pay yourself first? Some of us who are Christian will pay tithe first. Yeah, tithe, then we save. Then from there now we can go ahead and start paying all these other bills. Because again, if you do not have, you're not intentional about it, Pauline, it doesn't matter how much money you earn.
Okay.
And you're not saying save at a 10%. I'm not telling you to save 10%. There's something that goes, during our class, one of our facilitators, our CU, Waithaka Gatumia, does this exercise, and it's very interesting. That one cup of coffee, which can cost you about 150 shillings, if you put that money, the 150 shillings, in an account, probably a money market account or a mutual account, you'll realize that this money, after 10 years, with a 10% compound interest, it will give you 1 million shillings.
150 per day.
150 shillings. So we are not talking about at 10,000. We're talking about 150 shillings a day. So I'm earning 30,000. What can I do?
So 150,000, 150 is only 4,500 shillings.
Yes.
When you think about it from 30,000.
Yes. And you're saying you're on a tight budget, right?
I'm
you're earning 30,000.
Very tight budget.
Why don't you walk some distance, save on that transport, and you're also working out at the same time. So you want to lose weight because that's what everybody's talking about. I want to lose weight and I want to look good, I want to look healthy, because COVID again is putting everybody who's not in good shape in terms of health is being affected adversely. So you're working, of course, taking care of yourself in terms of health. You're also saving some amount of money. You can even save up to 20 shillings. 20 shillings might not look like a lot of money, but that is about 600 bob. Yeah. So if you subtract it from the 4,500, that's about 3,900 shillings. Yes. So we need to look for the other 3,900 shillings. Where are we getting the 3,900 shillings? Yeah. All right. So you're used to buying lunch. There's somebody who brings in lunch for about 80 bob or 100 bob. We're not talking about 200 or 300 shillings, 100 bob that comes in. So you cooked ugali yesterday. Why don't you just cook extra ugali, carry that ugali and a bit of mboga? Have that for lunch. You would have saved 100 shillings. 100 times
say 25.
25? That is 2,500. So we are
we are at 3,100.
3,600.
Oh, 600. So now we are looking for
3,600. So we are looking for 900 bob.
We are looking for 900 shillings.
Yes, we are looking for 900 shillings. What else can you take from your budget, for example? Yeah, so we've said you can walk, you can carry food, yeah. Then all this, it's very interesting.
What about my phone? You know, my phone.
Yeah, that's what I was.
My phone is one of the biggest consumers.
That is what I was about. That's where I was going.
Can you help with my phone that coolers?
There are these background noises or music. Allow me to call them so, because I wouldn't want to be found quoting any organization. And you find that you're being charged like 2 shillings every day. Every time somebody calls in and they listen to that wonderful, background music, there's some money you're being charged. You don't need to do that. So if it's it's 2 shillings every day, that's about
That's only 60 bob.
60 bob. 60 bob is a lot of money.
Even you money people, Shirley. 60 bob.
Let me tell you, 60 bob can make a whole lot of a difference. Do you Pauline, if you went to a supermarket right now and you were short of 60 shillings, do you think they'll give you the product that you wanted?
No, they won't.
Exactly. So 60 bob makes a whole lot of a difference. A whole lot of a difference. So it is in the small things, yes.
Yeah. We can't find 900 shillings somewhere.
We can find 900 shillings somewhere.
From the many things that I buy on the road.
Exactly. And then just work with the budget. And you know, the budget that we propose is usually, the budget that we work with has 3 parts. We have A, B, C.
What's A?
A stands for essentials, like those things that you must have. During this period, Pauline, you can't tell me you have walked naked because you have a whole wardrobe of clothes.
Too many clothes.
Yes, so you didn't have to buy clothes. Yeah. So we remove clothes and take them back to C. All these other expenses, because it's not an unnecessary, of course, because under the essentials we have food, shelter, clothing, health. But now we take clothes and we remove it from the essentials, So you will buy food. But again, do you have to eat bacon or sausage or smoky? Because some of us are addicts of smokies and boiled eggs. Yeah, that had to stop. It's 20 shillings. 20 shillings times 20, that is 400 bob. So the whatever, getting that savings, we can get that from our money.
So we are down to the wire here.
Yes.
But are we not? When will we ever leave? See, we'll die. Life is so hard.
Pauline, it's
no
just
lunch, no smoking.
You're carrying your lunch from home. If you must eat smokies, why don't you just go and buy from a depot or a supermarket somewhere and prepare that for yourself?
Yeah,
yes.
That's true.
So sometimes spending so much money, we spend so much within, every day, the way you look at your expenses. And that's why we tell people, please track your expenses because you will find those monies.
Yeah.
There's somebody who came to class and figured they were spending 500 bob in a month in buying sweets. You see these guys who, yes, we need to support them. I'm not saying don't. PK, 500 bob was going towards PK.
Which in a year is 6,000 shillings.
Look at that.
Yeah. In 10 years, that's 60,000 shillings.
So you want to travel to Dala and you're like, I don't have money. But if you're not buying that PK, that 6,000 shillings would have fueled your car back to Dala.
Okay.
So the idea is just looking at your expenses and just having your priorities right. Okay. And we're not saying jifinye. It's just for a short while. Until you attain your goal.
You said there were 3, let me just go there. There are 3 main sections of our budget. So there's
essentials, which is A. B, non-essentials, like your hair. Your hair during this period is a non-essential. You don't have to spend like 3,000 bob on your hair.
And
I don't know what
nails.
And your nails as well. You can buy polish and just make sure if you're that person who can do without polish, who can't do without polish, buy polish. Yeah. Or the other thing would be make sure they're just neat, or look for somebody who would offer that service at a cheaper cost. Or you don't even have to travel all the way, because like me, if I was to do my nails, my nail technician lives about 1 hour away from my place. So that means I'll have to board either public transport. Of course, Uber is not in my budget right now. It's a bit expensive. On a normal day, I'd spend about 600 bob to get there. And if I was to go to any local place to get my nails done, see, that's 600 off my budget. Yeah. Yes, and into my savings.
Okay. And the last category is what? Luxuries, or what is it?
Other things.
Others.
Like going out for now lunches with your family. Travel is essential. Okay, travel is very important, but plan for it. Let it not be an impromptu, a spontaneous thing. Like we need to go to Naivasha next week, so I got this deal and we need to spend that money now. You need to plan for it.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so then the third one, so there was income, budget, then there was savings and investments.
Yes, paying yourself first.
How important is this investment? What should we be investing in now?
If there's something that has taught us, it's Corona. Savings, number one, you need to have an emergency.
So we need to have
an emergency fund that would have sustained some of us during this period. Yeah. And an emergency fund technically she'll be able to support the lifestyle that you're living for a period of about 6 months, just before you figure out what to do next. So if you've been working for the last 10 years or 6 years, you should be able to have been saving, putting aside even 1,000 bob every month for the last 10 years, 1,000 bob every month, and you don't have to put it in a savings account, not just in any account, but an account that is going to give you a return at the end of the day. So it should be able to grow your money as well. Yes.
But it needs to be something, from what I've seen from COVID, it needs to be something you can get to easily. You don't have to write a letter to the SACCO.
No,
I don't
no,
know what,
no,
all
no,
that.
no. And imagine,
is it true that it needs to be something you can, because an emergency is an emergency. We've
yes,
now learned.
yes,
we don't have time to write a letter to the SACCO and get guarantors so that we can get the money. So what kind of, how do we, and somebody said 6 months. 6 months,
yes.
You said 6 months?
6 months.
6 months.
Yes.
Living the way I live.
Yes.
So I need to have somewhere that I can reach quickly, 6 months sustenance.
Yes. And that a very good place would be a money market account, because with a money market account you can get your money within 2 days.
Okay.
Between 1 to 2 days you should be able to get back your money, with an interest, of course.
Okay.
Yes.
So we need to have, and then we need to have the long-term savings.
Long-term savings. So you need to have savings in different areas again. So that in the Word of God tells us you need to cast your bread in many waters.
So we need to have many places where we've hidden money.
With different goals at the same time.
Okay.
Remember, some of us are planning for children, some of us already have children who need to go to school. We're also thinking of retirement, because it's going to get to a point where I won't have this energy that I have today. Yeah. So what do I do when that time comes? So we have different kinds of investments that we can put our money into that will all actually sustain us when we need it at that particular point. So for retirement, for example, we can think about treasury bills and bonds. That would be the best way to put our money there, because again, when you're retired, you're not thinking of a high risk.
Yeah, you don't need
a high risk, high return investment portfolio. All you need is something that's going to give you your money pole, and you're sure of getting your principal at the end of the day.
Okay.
Yes. But when you're still young, you can think of places where you can just put your money grows, and you're able to get your money, because it's a high risk and high risk, high return place. Yes.
Okay. So you've been teaching people about investing.
Yes.
Normally, our concept of investing is to start biasharas, like putting up chickens. Like now it's December, I'm getting a lot of people telling me, come on, unataka kuku ya Christmas, I'm selling. Then when COVID came, we took our cars, which were probably on loans, and now we opened the car boots and started selling vegetables.
Yes.
We basically ran around hustling, doing whatever we could, selling eggs.
Yes.
What do you think about that?
Do you know entrepreneurship or business is a form of investment?
I see.
It's actually a form of investment. And this is an investment that will give you a very high return compared to these other investments that we have around.
Okay.
Yes. Because it's very easy for you to make 300% from a business, rather than just putting them, because with these other forms of investments like treasury bills and bonds, a bond that will run you for about 15 years will give you 19% return. If you're thinking of a money market fund, it will give you a 10% interest over a period of 1 year. So you cannot compare that to a business. If you have a very good business and you have done your research and you have a mentor, somebody that has worked with you, and you have the right information, go for it.
So business is a good idea.
It's a good idea, and it's an investment vehicle as well.
Okay. You're not going to tell me it's high risk. I thought you were going to say it's a high risk.
It's high risk depending on the kind of research that you have done.
Okay.
Yes.
So then we come to tracking. What kind of models are there for tracking money? Are there is there a Fitbit? Is there a Fitbit for tracking money, or what? I mean, is it that I carry a notebook? I told you today we are getting very practical.
No, we should.
Do I carry a small notebook where I write every time I spend money, or what tools are you giving me to track my money?
I keep on telling ladies, when I'm talking to ladies, that you need to have a notebook and a pen at all times. So if you're that person who doesn't mind putting it down, andika chini, even that 10 bob you gave to that guy who opened the gate for you, even that 20 bob you gave to that person who put pressure in your tire, please note it down. We also have apps nowadays. If you went to Google Store or Apple Store, you'll get spending trackers there where you can input your details every day, especially if you're tech savvy. Some of us will not do that very easily on the phone. If you could, have an Excel sheet as well. Get to the office, you remember, once you get to the office, unakumbuka, hey, I bought a PK worth 20 shillings. Make sure you note that down. Okay. Then it will be very easy for you now to go down and now start thinking of savings, because you'll know, I don't really need to buy PK. It's not necessary. Besides, I'll suffer from tooth decay, or I'll get tooth cavity. So you just cancel that from your account, then transfer it to your savings account. Okay. Yes, and you don't have to start saving a lot of money. You know, we have this tendency of saying, the day I will get a lot of money.
You know, we are big thinkers.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't.
There's no problem with big thinking, but can we break that? Can we learn how to break? We need to learn how to break down the big ideas that we have and make them practical.
Okay, so this is really important. How do we increase income? So the other day, my daughter said, the problem with you, Mom, is that instead of increasing your income, we are just on the same pie we had 10 years ago. We need to bake a bigger pie. How do we bake bigger pies?
God is very interesting, and I'll go back to God. I always go back to God. When God created us, He created us with, I think we are the most special beings before God, because there are so many things, Pauline, we can do. Probably you lost your job, or maybe you got a pay cut, but you can do online work. Why don't you just save those, get extra 2 hours, don't sleep too much again, because again, okay, it will get to some point where you need this sleep, but right now, if you're able to secure 2 hours, like just get 2 hours of your time. Stop spending so much time on TV, because you'll figure TV, phones, because you spend so much time in front of gadgets. You're able to cut down the number of hours or minutes you spend on gadgets. You'll be able to start thinking of ideas that are going to help you generate more income. Teachers who are at home right now, there are people who are not teaching right now, but they're doing tuition.
Yeah.
They're making money. There are people right now who did not know that they could. Okay, they used to make very nice chapatis. Like I make very nice chapatis in the house. I could easily go out and look for somebody who wants to eat very nice, healthy chapatis made from home, and I go and prepare for them a meal at home. So all these things are within us. Do something. Because again, I remember there's a time I said, when you produce your money from your wallet and somebody else comes in with their money, it will not be written, oh, you are washing clothes, or this one was from Pika in chapati. Get your hands dirty. And one of my mentors keeps on saying, money is found where there's a lot of dirt. Those things that we don't want to do, that is where we'll find money.
Okay. We have to go to a break. We'll be right back. I want to continue with lessons, COVID-19 and the year 2020. What must we take out of this year and not continue to do? Yeah. So 3 things. What do we not do? What do we continue to do? And what must we start doing generally going forward, especially with the new normal? Now that we know there's a new normal, what are those 3 things that we must begin to do with our lives? And especially around money. So, Dadas, don't go too far. We'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies. We're talking about COVID-19 lessons learned, especially around money. We're with Maureen from Centonomy. Maureen, lessons learned. I think the one thing that if you want to grow, I've learned, you must learn. And change is very painful. And I think what COVID-19 did for us in the year 2020 is that most of us had to sit down and reevaluate. It's like we were given an opportunity, a timeout. I normally say it's timeout. We were given a timeout. You know, when you're given a timeout, when you're a kid, go to the corner. You know, Muzungus, they tell you go to the corner, sit on the floor, and think about what you've just done. In terms of money, we have to really rethink our attitude towards money, investments, finances, and even health and wealth.
Yes.
So what are some of the things that in your mind we have to now begin to say, you have to stop doing?
3 things. Number 1 is don't take time for granted. Time is very key, and it's a resource that we have been given, and sometimes we just waste a lot of time doing nothing and doing things that don't help us. Why don't we get information? You can come and sign up for a program at Centonomy. If you're not able to sign up for a program, seek for information. It is very critical. The reason why I'm saying this is we did not grow up with the financial literacy knowledge with us.
Yeah.
We did not grow with that. And the reason why I'm saying that is because you'll notice that we are suffering from scarcity mentality. Like once we get money, we want to make sure we spend it all and now. Yeah? It's like we'll never have any other opportunity for spending money. Then number 2, always have a goal. You see the way we have goals for everything else. My education, I want to get a good man or a good wife, settle down, have children. Also have a goal where money matters are concerned. And you want to build a home? It is very possible. Is it a home in Runda? At how much will it cost you? About 50 million? Then start working it out. You don't have to say you'll get money in the next 10 years. Start now. And if you give yourself a period, again, remember goals, a good goal must have a timeline again. So you work out within 10 years, you're like, within this 10 years, I should have a home, and this is how I'm going to be working it out. Yeah. Then number 3, if you can't pay yourself fast, it doesn't matter how little it is, just put some money aside. Nobody knew COVID was coming. It never sent a memo and said, hey, 2020, I'm going to be with you. So guys, do all the hoarding that you can or go work hard. Put money aside. You just must save. Okay. And you're asking me where the money is going to come from? Just reevaluate your spending patterns. Look at your budget and track your spending. You will know where your money is going to. Okay. Yes.
So secondly, what is it that we must continue doing, perhaps? Are there things we can continue to do?
Yes. There's so many things that we can continue doing. Number 1 is make sure you do something. Aki, put your hands to something. Do something. Do something. You have a skill, you have a talent, you have all this information that you've been, gathering. Do something with it. I'm just thinking, there's so many people who are at home right now. And I remember in our church, for example, we didn't know how to go about Sunday school. But we saw other churches, guys are doing Zoom, they're on YouTube. Online. And we're like, hey, even us, we have to do that so that our children continue getting this knowledge, because it's very important for them to just understand and grow in the right way. So make sure you do something with what you have. Some of us are teachers. We have taught in Sunday school. Of course, we moved to other departments, but we found ourselves there. I was doing something. And even as I was working on it, I figured, I can do mentorship. And that is how you discover. Volunteer. You'll do something. Just do something. Don't sit. We were not created to sit like zombies. Do something. Yes. And at the end of the day, it will pay. By that, at some point, it shall pay. It shall pay. Of course, I wasn't to talk about career planning or career development, but there's one of the programs that we have at Centonomy called Career Hub. And one of the lead facilitator keeps on saying, Pewa, make sure patiana what you have, just give, and don't stop giving. At some point, you'll meet the right person, and they will change your destiny. Yeah.
So don't be mean.
Don't be mean.
Don't say this is just a job. They are paying me 1,000. No, so you give the bare minimum.
No, don't. Then the other thing again that we need to do is continue learning. Hey, now that you have brought that up, people who are not relevant in the organization are the people who lost their jobs. Like, what other value are you adding? Make sure you're continuously adding value wherever you are.
That's very true.
It is very important.
I must let me throw in something to this. Many people, when COVID came and organizations had to reorganize,
yes,
most of the people who quickly lost their jobs were people who couldn't adapt. Like, you were in IT and you are now added a responsibility for sales. Yes. And many people say, and some people are like, no problem, I'm willing to give it a shot. Yes. I don't know whether I can do it, but I'm willing to, I'm willing to do something about it. Yes. And then there was the other person who quickly said, that was not in my job description. Exactly. I don't know anything about selling. I'm not interested. I don't want to. And they, most of those people today do not have jobs.
It's true.
It is the people who are very quick to adapt and run on the treadmill
It is true.
and take on new horizons and go to places they were not, and take on new jobs, take on new responsibilities that are not theirs. So I think you're very right, and that's what I just needed to say that we must be adaptable.
We should.
Yeah, and because we don't know what will happen in 2021.
Exactly. Or even tomorrow.
Even tomorrow.
Yeah.
So if we are very rigid, we get stuck.
I agree.
Yeah. So for you, it's continue doing, continue learning.
Continue learning.
Any other?
Number 3, have an abundant mindset. Very critical, Pauline. If you have a scarcity mentality, you will never see any opportunity. But somebody with an abundant mindset will see an opportunity. I'll give this story again. This guy works for a very big hotel in Kenya. He's a chef. For about 20 years, that's what he's been doing, and he's been doing nothing else. Then COVID comes in, we have lost our job. So what do? He has a car, a Noah that he had bought during his period of working. He goes back home, he has a small meko in the house, he has cooking pans in the house, he has unga, he has chapati. What next? Will my family look at me and will they die and I need to provide for my family? He decides to drive his car and goes to a market to make chapatis and started selling. That guy has an abundant mindset.
Yeah.
But every time you have a scarcity mentality, it means you will never see any opportunity.
That's true.
And opportunities are all around us. And if you can't see one, why don't you create an opportunity?
Yeah.
Yes.
So continue doing, continue learning, have an abundant mentality.
Yes.
What are the things that we could start doing? So there are things we stop, some things we continue, some things we can start, some new fresh ideas. Any ideas about that?
Many. Let's have many ideas.
Something fresh, something
Yes.
fresh. What can we start doing?
Live your life, Pauline.
Okay.
Stop looking at your neighbor, stop looking at what Pauline is buying, where she's going to. Live your life.
Yeah.
Live your life because you have a vision. You must have a vision for your life, honestly, because without a vision, they say my people perish. So you'll take another road and disappear from, disappear from the face of the earth, or disappear from everybody who should have helped you or who should have held your hand. Live your life.
Okay.
Just have a vision for your life and make sure you follow through.
Yeah.
Then something that we should, you said it is about?
What can we start?
What can we start
So
doing?
for me, I hear you saying, have a big vision for your life.
Yes.
That you're pursuing something, you have a big purpose
Yes.
for your own life.
Yes, yes.
So that even when things become tough, at least you're looking at your purpose. You're going somewhere. You can almost close the noise out.
Very important, because that helps you, because you
Yes.
already have a roadmap.
Yes.
Nobody else will tell you to divert and take this other route.
Yeah.
Yes.
When it becomes noisy, you have clarity. Okay.
Then number 2, you need to start. Never look at your money and think it is small. Money is never small. Neither do we have so much money. Start with what you have.
There's no small or big money.
Practice with what you have.
Yes.
A day will come when you have about 10 billion in your account. And you're not talking about money that has come from...
from elsewhere.
Yes. So what will you... If you're not able to manage the little that you have. And one of the reason why I'm saying that is I keep on looking at our heroes. The heroes, and I'm calling them heroes because they put Kenya in the landmark of the world. Athletes. Today, we go run, I make my millions, then I come back. After 5 years, after 1 year or 2 years, I'm nowhere to be seen. It's because this money just came once, and I didn't know what to do with it, and I thought, okay, now I'll buy the house, I'll buy the car that I always wanted to drive, and you don't know how you're going to maintain fuel. I meant to understand if today you got an accident with a Mercedes Benz, you'll need to replace all the headlights. Yeah, and that will cost you quite an amount of money. Yes. So you need to start with whatever. Just don't look at your money as small. Start practicing with what you have.
Great one. I like that. If you can't practice with what you have, there's no point.
There's no point.
It is because I like that. I like that. The principles are the same. So it's what you have. Practice with the little, and as it grows, it becomes bigger. The principles remain the same.
They remain the same.
They remain the same.
Remain the same.
Okay. Okay, that's nice. I needed to talk about this couples and money. Suddenly, there's an explosion of people talking to couples and money. What is the problem with couples and money?
Hey, it's a big issue.
It's a big issue. What is happening with couples and money? Because we've started seeing a lot of targeted training towards couples and how to manage money. Why is this happening now?
And apart from infidelity, money is one of the biggest issues that is breaking up homes. Like, money is serious. People never talk about money. I come with my money, it is my money. You come with your money, it is your money. But this house has to run. The idea of, if we are one, why are we putting monies aside? I thought everything was supposed to be one.
Yes, I recently had a conversation with a young man who was very frustrated with his marriage. And because his wife earns a lot more than him. And I asked, how much more does she earn than you? She said, hata sijui. Sijui yo 1 pesa ngapi. Because we've never had that discussion, because the wife, well, the man had actually caused the wife to become suspicious, because he'd done some few investment and things that had caused the wife to say, now you stay in your corner and me I stay in my corner when it comes to money. But as the wife progressed in her career and began earning big money, the conversation never happened. So this young man was saying, I don't know how much she earns. But according to her, I should continue paying the rent. And I should continue paying the bills. Although I know she earns a lot of money because she has a new car, she's buying new clothes, she travels with her sisters, she looks very happy, she goes with our son on trips, but I don't know how much money she's making. And I sat there and I thought, that's interesting, that people can trust each other with their bodies, with their lives, but they can never tell each other, with their children, but they can never tell each other how much money they have. I think it doesn't make any sense to be married if we're not going to talk about money.
It doesn't. And just looking at it, Pauline, it's a partnership, right?
Yes.
So assume you're running a business with your business partner. Now, this is not your wife, this is your business partner. Then your business partner decides to go out. Of course, you're tendering using the company's name. You go get a deal. Then you come back with that money, and you're like, okay, sawa. You don't even say how much money you got, but you'll come back with that money to the organization and buy whatever was required for the organization, and you don't say how much remained or how much you paid. If you found out that's what your business partner is doing, what would you do? The business will definitely die.
Yeah,
in fact, you'll break the partnership, right?
Break the partnership. And because it doesn't matter, because there are two issues here. Not only are they spending money the way they wish, but they're also, if we sat together, perhaps I could have had an opinion, an input in how we are spending money. I would have said, let's not buy that, let's buy this. That means you're spending our money on yourself.
Exactly.
Which means then it's not a partnership. So
exactly.
For couples, what are some of the basics that you'd say when it comes to money?
Talk about money. It doesn't matter whether your wife is earning more or the man is earning more. Because I will not put a gun on your head and tell you, you know what, you must put this money on the table. We must agree, because we are working as a team. So talk about how much we are earning, how much is it we are going to spend, and these are the investment vehicles that we have. That way you'll grow faster compared to you putting your money aside. And then it's so interesting, Pauline, when somebody, God forbid, somebody passes on. This money, because this person does not trust it, and this happens a lot. It is so sad, it breaks my heart. When somebody passes on, you realize that they had put the next of kin as their mother. So
or their child.
Or their child. And you forget about your husband, or you forget about your wife. Then who ends up benefiting? In fact, your children might even end up suffering.
Yeah.
Yes, because of that. So if you're able to just talk about it, plan together as a team, you will grow faster. Seek for information as a team. Sometimes you might have an idea that I may not really agree with. Why don't you look for an expert? Just talk to them and tell them, this is the idea we have. What do you think? Or what's your opinion? Then go back to your meeting. Just discuss and agree.
Do you think that as Africans we lose a lot of opportunity because of our paranoia and suspicion? And with this I want to talk about our Asian brothers and sisters. I love their sense of community. I love the fact that they think of themselves as a unit. So they live together. They save money on food.
Yes.
They save money. I mean, I'll never forget when I was growing up, if you went to a street called Biashara Street, today it's very different. I think the businesses are not owned by the Asian community. But if you went to Biashara Street, the businesses closed at 1. Why? Because the wives brought food. They would bring their husbands food, they would eat lunch together, then they would leave, and then the shops would reopen. But us, we live in the same town with our brothers. Everybody is paying rent. Your brother pays rent of 50,000, you pay rent of 50,000. And if you actually were to get a house worth at 100,000, both families would be extremely comfortable. So do you think that we are losing amazing opportunities because we bought the nuclear family setup, lock, stock and barrel?
We do. We do lose a lot of, we have lost a lot of opportunities. I agree. Because that's how Asians are able even to pass on businesses to the 4th generation, while we are not able to do that. Because it's, I think it's a scarcity mentality. That's a problem with scarcity mentality, because it is mine, and I have to squander it alone, and that has to end. We will never create wealth with that kind of mentality. We will never create wealth that kind of mentality.
It's true. So it's the nuclear family. I also wanted to talk about, you've brought me to my next point, which is generational wealth. Why are we unable to create generational wealth? We've talked about hoarding, but how do we create wealth that goes beyond us into our children? Because it seems like Africans, we never start from somewhere. Every generation starts afresh.
Well, there's even this statement that says once somebody passes on, they go with their wealth.
Yes. the children start again. It's like your father lived on this earth, did certain things, died, and then you start again.
Pauline, imagine it's lack of information. If you'd only invest that money, then think of how you would plan again. Once you've started creating wealth, so the money is multiplying. You need to start now thinking of how to plan for that wealth. Real estate, we talk about real estate planning, very critical. If you have noticed, you know your children's character, personalities. And you know this one cannot run this business that I'm running currently, or if I left this guy with this amount of money, it will definitely, after 2 years, I will not have that money. If you're able to just organize that wealth properly, just write a will. We're not talking about death. It is important to have a will, imagine, very important, because something can happen to you today. Then what happens? There's a lot of, we have billions and billions of shillings that are lying with the government that have not been, nobody has gone to claim for them. A lot of that. And probably your dad worked so hard for your sake, and because he did not know what to do, it goes back to the government. And somebody else is going to spend that money. The government is going to use that money instead of your children spending that money. So people need to start thinking of, how do I start organizing my wealth?
Okay. So at Centonomy, what are some of the things that you're doing? Just, especially when it comes to retirement, building legacy, building wealth, teaching families. Sometimes you go for family functions and they invite speakers, and they always invite these counselors, I don't know what, pastors. Maybe they should also invite a financial advisor.
And very critical at this moment.
Yeah, so what other stuff are you doing?
All right, apart from just training, because people coming into class and they sign up for a 12-week program, the Personal Financial Management Program, called Centonomy 101. So you'll sit in and you'll be taught on how to manage your money. Simple basics. Do you do a budget? How does your budget look like? Do you track your spending? Then from there we look at now time value of money. Now looking at those big goals that you have. Now we help you to break down those goals into small achievable goals. I'll give you a very good example. One of my biggest dreams is to take my children to Harvard University.
Wow.
So my first one is currently 11 years old, and I'm thinking after that, we're looking at about 8 years, So between, right now, Harvard University, the cost is about, right now it's about 24 to 25 million, or rather 26 million. In a period of about 8 years, we're looking at about 30 to 34 million because of inflation again and time value of money. Look at inflation and how that affects our vision. So I had to sit down and just break down that amount of money, and I figured if I was able to get an income that would give me about 600 bob or 800 shillings every day, I'll be able to take my child to Harvard without necessarily calling for a harambe. I'll just call you guys to come and celebrate with me. We thank God for this far, and of course we take our child to Harvard.
600 bob daily for the next
About 8 years.
Okay.
Actually 800 bob for the next 8 years. So that's how you look at it.
Okay.
Yes.
That sounds doable.
It is achievable.
It sounds very doable.
There's no elephant. You know, you cannot eat an elephant just the way it is, as big as it is. You'll just have to start chopping it down, and that's the idea.
Yeah.
That's how we look at it.
So you begin to take big goals and sort of cut them down into small
achievable, yes.
Okay.
Achievable goals.
Okay.
Then I will go into debt. Debt.
Oh yes, I forgot to ask you about debt. I forgot to ask you about debt.
In fact, most people who come to class will tell you, me, I had an issue with debt. I'm already in debt, and I don't know how to get out. So we'll take you through how, okay, debt is good. We'll always tell you debt is good. But again, take a debt if you have a plan for it. And then also start thinking of the repayment plan before you get the money into your pocket. So we'll teach you how to get out of debt. So looking at loans that have very high interest. We're not telling you to go and take a loan from one body to come and clear all the loans so that you remain with that loan, because that's what people have been doing.
Yeah, banks love it, don't they?
They do.
Banks are always
but at the end of the day,
consolidate all your, we'll buy you a loan. I'm like, what?
My dear, the
what
interest,
they're going to buy your loan, which basically means that they're going to charge you an arm and a leg.
Of course. Of course. Siri ya deni ni kulipa. Pay that debt. But look at the loan that has the highest interest. Start with that one. And make sure you're also clearing these other ones. Kidogo, kidogo, to make sure you just pay kidogo, kidogo. It doesn't matter whether you put in CRB or not, but make sure you're paying that loan. So reduce that. Once you clear up with the first debt, transfer this amount that you're paying to the next loan.
Yeah, so that you can even go faster now.
So that you go faster. You realize that you even shorten the period in which you're paying up the loan and the interest as well. Because the shorter the period, if, for example, you're to pay a loan in 32 months and you reduce it to about 24 months, you'll realize that you'll have saved yourself a lot of money, a lot of it.
Okay.
So you must pay your debt.
Yeah.
But there's also a formula for that.
Yeah.
Then you look at abundant living, just having an abundant mindset. Because again, if you're not able to embrace your vision, there's no way you'll be able to achieve it.
I like that. I like abundant living.
It is very important. Yeah. And one of the facilitators, I love her, she's a pastor, she does an amazing job. Then we go to now investments. We look at investments in 3 portfolios. There's property. We are not talking about lazima. You know, everybody started buying plots, Pauline?
Yeah, kaploti ni mpaka ukue nako. Even if they are lying in places you don't know where they are, even
no,
if they have no title deeds, you have no access to them, lakini kaploti.
Kaploti. And then you're buying plot during rainy,
yes.
no, during dry season. Yes. So when it starts raining, it's a swamp, and you're like, where do I start? You've lost your money. If you want to buy a plot, please have a goal as well. What do you intend to do? If you already have land, Pauline, what is it doing? It should be able to put money in your pocket. And that's the other thing. We keep on saying that an investment should be able to put money in your pocket. If it is not putting money in your pocket, it is not an investment. A car is not an investment. A home is good.
Yeah, because you're living in
Owning a home is good, Pauline, but it's not an investment because it is not putting money in your pocket. Own a home when you already have investments that are going to help you maintain your lifestyle. Then, you know what happens, Pauline, is we retire, probably somebody falls sick, or I need to take my child to university somewhere because they perform very well and I didn't have money set aside. I'm supposed to sell my home or a home that I owned in Nairobi. How long will you take before you sell that home? That's the problem.
The joke, let me tell you the joke of COVID is that people are they have big assets.
Exactly.
But they don't have cash.
Now exactly. That's one of the biggest lessons that we have learned.
They don't have cash. They have they have no access to liquid money.
Yes.
So all of a sudden, this person, I mean, is a billionaire.
Yeah.
But they cannot afford to pay a hospital bill.
You can't.
They're doing a harambe.
Imagine.
And people are like, you are a very wealthy person, you have a huge car, but you cannot afford to pay a hospital bill.
Yeah, because you cannot sell a house in 1 day or 2 days. It's going to be very tricky. Yeah. So if you have to think about real estate, think about demand.
So there's real estate.
There's real estate. There's the stock market. Yes. Just how to identify the stocks to buy. Then we have the treasury bills and bonds. And I had mentioned that it's a very good investment for retirees. Yeah. And then from there now we look at how do you start protecting your assets. Things to do with estate planning. Have you organized your wealth?
Yeah.
When do you take insurance, for example? Is it an investment or is it a protection vehicle? Yeah. And then we talk about, we help you come up with a 5-year financial plan. Very practical. So you'll be able to come out with a financial plan for 5 years. So you know within these 5 years I should be able to accumulate this amount of money, or if it's an asset, I should be able to buy this asset. And then from there we look at investment groups or chamas. Chamas are very important because, again, remember, there's a way you can build a certain asset alone, but there are some assets you cannot acquire alone, because chamas help you achieve your goals faster. Faster.
Yeah, circles.
Yes.
Sort of circles.
Circles, yes, or chamas. And if you have a chama, for example, what are you doing in your chamas? Are you just dishing out money, merry-go-round, or do you have a plan for it?
Great. So, do you have a parting shot? I'm told we've run out of time. So, do you have a parting shot for lessons from 2020? 2020.
2020. It's important for us to be accountable. Accountability is very important. With whatever resource that you have, be accountable.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. How much is your course?
It's 39,000 shillings.
Is it available all over Kenya?
It's available. By the way, we are online right now.
Okay.
Online right now, and we have a plan that you can pay kidogo kidogo. So if you started paying the money in December, you'd pay about 7,800 per month. So when you join in class, it will not be a big elephant. It won't be a very big goal, yeah, a very big vision. So you can just break it down into smaller installments. And we start in February.
Love it. Thank you very
Pauline.
much. As always, you bring light in the dark area of money. For some of us, money is a dark area. Thank you very much, ladies, for watching us. You've heard it from the horse's mouth. Let's go out there. Let's be accountable. Actually, accountability, there could be nothing better to be accountable in than your money and your finances. So until next week, have a great week. Baraka.